ask yourself, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Because when you think about that street life, you think about the consequences, you think about the people that's around you, understanding your circle. See, that's the thing. The streets is a myth, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why it is. It's a myth for the fact that the people that's supposed to protect you, the people that's supposed to be the real gang, real street individuals, they're not there when you need it. They're not there when you need it. So I ask you again, is it really worth it? Is it worth you doing football numbers in the penitentiary? Is it worth you losing your life for a stop sign, street light, front porch? Do you feel me? So you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Because when you looking at that jail time, when a life is lost, what's the answer then? Who's going to be there to protect you then? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to represent you the way you represented that stoplight, street sign, front porch? Who was there for you, your family, your loved ones, your kids? Those responsibilities that you left for whatever reason, whether it was involving street politics, gang politics, ops politics, when your life is taken from you, whether you go into prison, whether you not here on this earth anymore, what does that street sign, stoplight, front porch do for you and your family and your community? What does that street sign, stoplight, front porch do for you? Do you feel me? What does it do for you? And that's why I say the streets is a myth, because at least if you work for a major corporation, Fortune 500 company, you put in 20, 30, 40 years, you get some type of pension, retirement plan, social security. I know that's not popular. I know that's not what you want to hear. But at least you can retire. Your family can benefit off of that if something happened to you. But when you representing your stoplight, street sign, front porch, you go to jail, you do 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. What does that gang representing that mob ties, representing that YSL, what does that do for your block, your people, your community, your kids, your family? What does that do for you and your loved ones when you gave your life, got it tattooed on your neck? Huh? What does that stop sign, front porch, street light do for you? Do you feel me? And I'm not coming at no one directly, even though it is connected. I understand that. Somebody may be offended. Oh, well, I'm only speaking facts. I'm only speaking facts. Because when you out there doing that criminal activity and you got to sit behind them bars because that gang, street light, stop sign, front porch snitched on you, huh? But they supposed to be the hardest out. They supposed to have all the reputation. They supposed to have all the street understanding, knowing, understanding your surroundings. But unfortunately, somebody passed away in the process of all of that. Which takeoff I'm talking about? Rest in peace, takeoff. So when will we as a community can really wake up and make some real changes, man? Because one thing I can say, I hear a lot, about that, the OGs and the youngsters, it's a disconnect. But there's another disconnect that doesn't get talked about. And that disconnect is not just the youngsters and the OGs, it's also the streets, the gang, the OGs, and the people who actually grew up in that community but chose a different life. I'm a product of that, where I grew up in a neighborhood where it was heavy crime infested, drug infested, gang infested. Well, not so much colors, but claiming street corner stop signs. Yes. It wasn't about colors. I'm from the Bay Area, but it was about street stop signs, stoplights. Because, like I said, I'm not trying to point anybody directly. I'm just speaking in general. I am speaking. I came from that, you know what I'm saying? Low income housing, Section 8, WIC vouchers. I come from all of that. But I can tell you today, I'm in my 40s right now. Yeah, I had friends that was doing criminal activity. I didn't choose that. I had friends that did a lot of the different criminal activity things and ways and schemes. I chose not to do that because as I started getting older, I started realizing, which I didn't know at the time, how a lot of these dudes out here in my era, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was balling, but eventually they went to jail. They got shot up. Family house got shot up. Cousins got killed. Uncle got robbed and beat, and nobody was there for them. Yeah, they there when it's time to put in work, but the aftermath of that, nobody was there. And yeah, you out here, you pushing P, you doing whatever you do, right? What happens when you go to jail though, and you're not able to bring that income to your street corner stop sign front porch? Who's going to help your family? You got kids, you know what I'm saying? Your grandma might got diabetes, she need help. You know what I'm saying? Getting her medicine. Is your gang? Is your mob ties gonna take care of that? Yeah, maybe for a while. But what if you in jail for 20 years, 30? Huh? Are you really that solid? So I came from those type of conditions. I came from those conditions, but I chose a different path. I chose to work. That's why I did videos. I got videos on my channel talking about going corporate, understanding your position. Don't get finessed out of your position. Understand your surroundings. This is what I bring to you on my channel. I'm not bringing you a whole bunch of fluff. I'm not telling you about sliding on ops. I'm not telling you, I claim this street corner stop sign, front porch. I talk about real life situations and how you can better yourself for your family, your community, your loved ones. That's what I talk about. Do you feel me? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment. You can share it It's cool. You got to understand it's bigger than you, especially my young G's out there, young gentlemen. You need to understand, regardless what you're going through, especially if you're not really about that life that they talking about in these streets, man, don't do that. I was watching, it's $1 million worth of game. Shout out to Gilly and Wallow. And Wallow said some beautiful words where he's telling you, which I've been saying on my channel this whole time. If you're not about that life, I don't care if you have money, or you could be a millionaire. You could be a hundredaire. If you're not really to commit to that life with everything that's involved with it, don't get in that. There's no need for you to claim no gang, mob ties, YSL, none of that. If you're not really down to go all the way, meaning if you're not willing to do that time, possibly lose your life. Why even indulge in that type of activity? Why get involved with criminal activity when you really not about that life? That can save a whole bunch of lives. And that's basically what Wallow was saying in so many words. It's no need for you to get involved in that life if you not really, deep down in your side, in your soul, what you really about. And one thing I can truly say on this mic tonight, when I was living in those areas, low income housing, a lot of my friends, partners was involved in a lot of activity. I knew that wasn't for me. I couldn't explain it and articulate it the way I am tonight, but that's what was happening. I knew for a fact that wasn't me. I'm not finna stand on no corner, pack my ass full of crack, swallow balloons full of dope, and stand on a block. I'm not going to do it. Do you feel me? That is not my lifestyle. That's not something I was looking forward to. That's not something I'm like, oh man, I got to be the realest individual out here. No. You know what I did? I did go to college for a little while, didn't graduate. But one thing I figured out is that I like to work, I like to move around, I like to do things. So I started figuring out how to work in these different corporate settings over these years. And I was able to find my niche where I'm able to take care of my family. I don't have to look over my shoulder everywhere I go. Now I know it's a gray area, things could happen no matter where you at. But the difference is I'm not automatically putting myself, my loved ones, my community in danger for the choices I made, knowing that wasn't me. And a lot of y'all individuals out here, I know for a fact, I can see it in your eyes. You're not built like that. And as soon as you get behind cell block 8 and they telling you them football numbers you're going to be looking at, you're going to be like, yes, ma'am. Do you feel me? So if you're not about that life, there's no need for you to act like you about that life because you don't want that energy. So you better off just being a regular civilian. Go figure it out. Either work for a corporate company, go to school, learn a trade, or work multiple jobs till you figure something out. Or maybe you can rub shoulders with a balling individual where they can give you some game. Kind of like what I'm giving to you on this mic. Because all I bring to you was nothing but good game, good conversation, good motivation, and hopefully some type of inspiration. I am Sean B. Stoller. Do you feel me? See, I didn't want to do another Streets is a Myth, man. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. Because watching that $1 million worth of game, that got me inspired, man. That got me want to go back into it. But I'm not doing this to come at anybody directly. I'm just speaking my opinion. And in general, I am speaking. And hopefully I can enlighten a few people or a group of people where you may be thinking about doing something, you know what I mean? Doing something criminal activity on the streets or involving yourself with some type of activity that you truly not about. Hopefully by watching me, you can think about moving a little bit different and choosing a more positive path for you when you know that street life is just not you. Do you feel me? You know you're not built for this. So why get involved? Just to show that you a follower? Just to show that, oh, I'm real like them. But then when you looking at them football numbers, you the first one telling. You the first one trying to figure out how to get out of the situation when you could have avoided this whole type of situation completely if you just didn't get involved. But don't be no follower like a lot of these dudes out here, like a lot of these individuals who want to get on this mic or they want to get on, social media and tell you how real and how street they are when 99% of these dudes is going to snitch. So why even get involved? Go get you a job. And if you love guns that much, once you go into the U.S. military, you know what I mean? We got a lot of guns for you. You can always definitely go into the Army. Once you serve the country, man. If you love guns that much, instead of out here killing off people in your own community, just to say that you a real individual, because I got street cred, because I'm a gangster, really? So tomorrow when I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna tell a clerk, man, I got this basket, full of groceries. I'm a gangster. I'm not gonna pay for this. See how that worked for you. Do you feel me? See, y'all gonna get me started tonight. This don't make no sense, man. The same thing with John Morant from the Minnesota Grizzlies, man. I was watching Undisputed. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. And he want to be so gang. From my understanding, what was said on Undisputed this morning, he got a partner. They was out in the parking lot after the game was over when they played the Indiana Pacers, if I'm not mistaken. They started barking or whatever, talking, whatever they was talking about. And then what was said was basically, y'all don't want the smoke. That's John Morant and his people telling some of the Indiana Pacers, you don't want that smoke. Like in a you know what I'm saying? Like in a hood mentality or a street mentality, right? Then all of a sudden, which they got on camera, that's what they said on Undisputed this morning, or at least yesterday morning. It's almost 12 o'clock now. They had an infrared light that was shining in the car of the, in a bus of where the Pacers in that bus that they were, looking to leave the stadium. And it's all on camera, from my understanding. So John Morant, friend was banned from coming to the games. But the bigger issue is, why would John Morant put himself in that situation? You worth over 200 million. And you want to say something in reference to you got shooters? Really? Is you really built for that? You willing to lose everything you have for that? And if you do have shooters, what's the point of coming out here and speaking on that when you worth over 200 million out here? Because I guarantee you, those shooters that you're talking about, they don't have 200 million. They probably don't have 8 million. So you willing to throw everything away? Really? I hope my young folks out there, young G's, young women, I hope y'all really paying attention to a lot of these, what you call celebrity types, athlete types. And it shows that no matter how much money you have, if you don't change mentally, if you don't elevate yourself and elevate your surroundings of people that you have around you to have more positive, have more enlightening type of individuals around you, you will fall in that same pothole that all these other street types fall into. Do you feel? And I really dislike when people say, oh, I had to do this, I had to do that. No, you had a choice. You had a choice. You may have not liked the decisions that you had in front of you or choices that you had in front of you, but you still had a choice. So if you choose to do some criminal activity, that's what you choose to do. Now, if you force underage, okay, I'll give you a slack. But in general, I am speaking. I hate when a grown individual say that, oh, I didn't have a choice. I had to pack my ass full of crack, swallow balloons of dope to show these dudes around me that I'm real. Really? Do you feel me? So you got to show these same dudes, these same individuals that you real, where when you go to jail, they're going to be trying to holler at your baby mama. When you go to jail, yeah, they may send you a few boxes, but if you in jail for 20 years, how much they going to put on your commissary then? You know what I'm saying? Or if something happened to you, you get killed. Are they going to take care of your family if you got kids? Is that mob ties, that YSL, that gang, that stoplight front porch street sign, is they going to take care of all that for you? Because you ain't on this earth, but you got it tattooed on your neck and your hands, representing whatever that is. So you doing all that time in jail, or you not here on this earth, those same individuals going to take care of your family for you? And that's why I say the streets is a myth. Now, I'm not saying there is not no individuals, some real individuals out there. There are, but they're far and few. Because if you give me 20 of your hardest gang, street block, mob ties, anything, you give me 20 of them, and all of them looking at 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I guarantee you at least half is going to snitch. Because deep down inside, most of them wasn't built for that life. Deep down inside, they knew that's not what they was really about. And that's why I say the streets is a myth. Because most of these dudes don't even stand on what they talk about. Yeah, they there when it's time to party. When it's time to parlay and turn up and you hollering at this one, y'all popping bottles, doing whatever, taking trips, going here, going there. Yeah, right? Or sliding on the ops when you on the offense, right? But when you looking at that time, your family start dying around you. How gang are you? How much are yourself you willing to put on the line to still represent that street sign, that stoplight, that front porch? Do you feel me? How much of it then? How much are you willing to represent then? And on top of all that, is that block, street corner, stop sign is going to represent you like the way they say they will today when you're looking at that time and you need that support. Your family need that support. You need a lawyer. You done gave all your time to these individuals. And when you need support, are they there for you? Yeah, they there for you in that moment. But over time, when it's not popular anymore, when nobody is speaking on your name anymore, are they still there for you? See, initially, most individuals will show that they real, they there for you. But over the years, when life starts changing for them as well, do you still get that same support? And when you get out, hopefully if you make it out, if you go into jail, you do 20 years, do they have some type of care package for you? When you get out of jail, you do 20, 30, 40 years for that street light stop sign front porch. When you get out, they got some type of care package, stimulus package, some type of dental, medical. Do you get any type of support in that area? Or are they just gonna give you some trees, you know what I'm saying, get you some of that Zaza, take you to the strip club and say, ah, nigga, don't trip. If you know better, you do better, but you only can do better if you're willing to change. If you're willing to admit this is not you. Don't wait for you to look at penitentiary time to say, oh, this is not me. Oh, it's too late now, buddy. You all in. Don't come back later on and say, oh no, this not me, man. That's not what I really wanted. Like, hold up. You wasn't hollering at him not too long ago. Now all of a sudden, when you looking at that real time, now you want to be like, oh, this is not the life for me. This is not what I really wanted. And my young individuals out there, really take notes in what you seeing out here when you talk about these so-called street kings or so-called mob or whatever they want to be. I'm not talking about no one specifically, but just really understand what you looking at. Because if anybody is telling you to go out here on dummy missions while they sit in the comfort of their home or wherever they laying their head at, are they really there for you? Especially if they some type of OG. You know what I'm saying? And once you do some type of criminal activity, and they probably been to the penitentiary. This the thing though. If somebody been to the pen multiple times, I would think they would want the people that's coming up from under them to want better and do better. Meaning, why would you put your little homie in the same predicament that you was in? Like the whole game, I thought the whole point of all of this in general was to make sure the one up under you have a better situation than you. So you mean to tell me you want to send somebody underneath you, somebody that's, you know what I mean, inspired by you. You want them to go through the same prison time as you. You want them to look at possibly life, three strikes. You want them to, they got kids involved, not to be able to see their kids to, you go in, your kid is 3, you get out, they 18. You want them to experience that feeling. So is that really love? Are you showing them a better way? That sounds like a dummy sending a dummy on a dummy mission. Do you feel me? This don't make no sense, you know? Because it's like you got these so-called real street cred individuals out here, and then you got multimillionaire basketball players, athlete players want to be gangsters. Like, what kind of sense does this make, man? For what? You made it for the athletes or anybody that's a multimillionaire. Why the hell would you want to be street? To who? Who you trying to impress, bruh? You already got the bag. You already in position. All these dudes on the street looking at you like, bruh, you already there. So why would you want to be a gangster, be a street individual, but yet you on TV every day? Do you feel me? You on TV every day, but you want to be gang gang. Make that make sense, man. Make that make sense. You so gangster, you want to throw 200 mil away. You so gangster, you let takeoff get taken out of here. You so gangster, your whole YSL team is snitching on you, bro. And the list just gonna keep going. And that's another thing, man. I personally feel like all that old street code or uh, street standards is like a dinosaur out here, meaning only these old folks, OGs, and people that's influenced by these older generation is still living by that. Or I wouldn't even say living by that code, but more of trying to uphold a code that's dying, man. That old street mentality is a dinosaur out here, man. It's a dying breed, and it doesn't look like it's definitely not going to get stronger anytime soon. So any OG or anybody's trying to hold on to some old type of street cred, it's like a dinosaur out here, man. It's not real. And and to all my young G's, young individuals out there, I hope y'all really paying attention to what's going on with these so-called street dudes because they pretty much dinosaurs, man. They like you know what I mean? They like the first iPhone right now, man. They're a dying breed and they can't protect you, man. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have the situation with takeoff. Come on now. You say nobody need to check in, right? Nobody need to check in. But if you want to get that respect, yeah, I watched it, you know what I'm saying? Jay Prince, what he said. If you want to have that respect when you in the city, be down with us. Well, what I look at is If I'm down with you, how are you going to protect me? You like a dinosaur out here. Yeah, you real to a few, but overall, you a dying breed. Nobody cares. Do you feel? And all that old street mentality, man, ain't nobody checking for that. 'Cause if that was the case, that situation shouldn't have happened then. When you have so much, you know, so many connections. When you go to Texas, you're supposed to not necessarily check in, but if you want to, you know, feel like you get more respect when you walking through these areas, you're supposed to roll with them, right? But if you can't protect a multimillionaire, how you gonna protect anybody less than that? So what's the point? And that's why I say the streets is a myth, and that old mentality of I'm not telling. You got the OGs out here showing paperwork, telling on an open case. And like I said, I'm not a street individual, but I at least know a few things out here. So I hope my young G's, man, young individuals, I hope y'all paying attention, man. Because that old school, you know what I'm saying? No telling, stop snitching, snitches get stitches. Man, man, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Yeah, they care to a few, but overall, nobody cares. None whatsoever, man. And if you're not about that life, well, go back and watch a lot of my videos. I got a video saying going corporate. You know what I'm saying? Don't get finessed out of position. Know your position. Understand your surroundings. Man, I'm giving y'all nothing but game and sauce every time I pick up this mic. Because I'm not finna tell you about no dumbass street shit. For what? It ain't gonna do nothing but get you killed or get you prison time. Choose. The choice is yours. Do you feel me? Ridiculous, man? And these so-called dudes supposed to be the realest in the city, right? In what city, man? I guess maybe just at their house they the realest, right? You know what I'm saying? I had to put some type of joke in there because this is just too serious, man. It's really too serious, and like I said, it's so much a disconnect, from youngsters to OGs, and on top of that, like I said earlier, people like me where you grew up in those impoverished areas, you grew up around, the criminal element, but you chose a different path. And to me, that's more gangster than anything. Where you grow up in a negative area, you know what I'm saying, a poverty area. You see all your friends and relatives involved in criminal activity, but you tell yourself, you tell them, "Hey, man, you come slide with us." You tell them no. That's more gangster than somebody hopping in the car and doing something that you're not really built for. See, that's gangster to me. When somebody can say, "You know what? I don't have that money right now. I'm really messed up right now. Even though I need that money that bad, I'd rather sit here and struggle and figure it out than go out here and do some gang activity to the point where if I do it, I get away with it. My partner get caught. He's snitching on me, or I'm going to jail doing 20, 30 years and ain't nobody there to support me or my family. So what's the point?" And that's why the streets is a myth. And this is part two. Do you feel me? That's why the streets is a myth. And I had to come and drop this part two because it was well needed. And hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, leave a comment. You can share it. It's cool. You got to ask yourself when you get put in these situations, especially if it's somebody that love you, right? If somebody love you, no matter who it is, why would they want to send you on any type of dummy mission or want you to do some type of criminal activity if they really love you? Why would they want to involve you in anything illegally where you can face some serious time? Now, I ain't talking about some, you know what I'm saying? Some petty things. I'm talking about where your life is in danger or you could be facing some serious jail time. If somebody say they love you and they put you in those situations, is that really love? If somebody love you and something happened to you and they don't show no real remorse, is that really love? If you worth over 200 million and your partner is quick to pull out a gun and clap somebody while you there, is that really love? See, I'm not here to bring the fluff, man. I'm not here to tell you to do some low frequency criminal activity. I'm not here for none of that. I'm here to elevate in a positive way. And hopefully it's something I say to help you move a little bit different in your day to day when you're dealing with certain type of individuals because you got to really understand yourself first and understand your surroundings and make adjustments based on your situation. Because at the end of the day, if you don't look out for yourself first, who will? Because claiming that stop sign, street light, front porch, we already see the math of that. That's only a chosen few I ever heard where they go to jail, do 20, 30 years, and they get out, and somebody got a big bag waiting for them. You know what I'm saying? Not no bag full of weed. You know what I'm saying? Not a few dollars for the strip club. I know I'm talking about they really set up. I only heard about a couple. Now, keep in mind, I'm not from that life, but I'm just saying in general, look in your own community and see who say that they gang and people that follow them or they influence to do certain things. Pay attention and see how those individuals' life end up. It wasn't really worth it. Because if you gave that same energy to a Fortune 500 company, you won't be looking at prison time. You won't have to worry about sliding on your ops. You won't have to worry about somebody when you go to jail trying to sleep with your baby mama, bruh. Now, I know it's a gray area to any situation, but in general, I am speaking. If you out here working legitimately, getting after things, I guarantee you, at least you will live a longer life than somebody doing criminal activity, taking chances. Know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself that. If somebody is putting you in these predicaments where your life is on the line, how is that love? Because when you go and work for these Fortune 500 companies, I don't see none of them trying to put you in life dangerous, you know what I'm saying, in dangerous situations where your life could be lost or you're looking at major prison time when you're going out here and working legitimately. And guess what? When you do decide to retire, 30 years, whatever that is, at least you have something to look forward to. So you telling me after I do all this gang and mob ties this and that, claiming that stop signs, front porch, street light, after I put in 20, 30 years, what do I get? Do I get some type of medical plan? I get some type of health care, vision? Do I get life insurance? Is it really worth it? And on top of all that, especially if you're out here pushing, you know what I'm saying, pushing P or anything like that. That's what they like to say, right? How many of these so-called street dudes is really pushing real weight out here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, are you pushing weight to be Tony Montana, or are you just selling a couple of 20 sacks out here just to get by? And now you got the weed dispensary, so they ain't even getting the 20 sacks from you. Do you feel me? Come on now, man. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense, And that's why I say, to me, they got the game twisted when they talk about, oh, you a square dude because you work. No, you a real dude because you work. That's real to me. That's gangster to me. When somebody said, man, I could have chose to go that negative way, but I chose to do something legitimately. Because guess what? When you go the legitimate way, you get out here and work and you figure things out. Not only it builds character in your journey, in your process, you building yourself up. Most likely you building your credit up. You building up your reputation. See, people don't talk about that a lot. It's not just what you have, it's your reputation. Ask Kyrie Irving. He's worth a lot of money, but nobody want to really pay him. Why? What is his reputation like? Do you feel? What is your reputation like? See, the more you try to get away from the old school ways, some of it still stay the same today. I'm going to explain. Back in the days, it was all about the name. Like your last name meant something. You wouldn't think that that's real today, but it still is. You know how? When they run your credit, when they put your social security number in that machine, in that computer, all your digital reputation comes right up. They know how long you've been paying on your credit card, how many times you was late. That's part of your reputation. And if you go back and watch my other videos, I talk about keeping a clean face. Now, even though I'm a handsome dude, that's not what I'm talking about. See, that's why I give you real sauce on the mic. You want to have a clean face out here that ties into your credit. That ties into your referrals of people when you're trying to get ahead in the corporate setting. You looking to advance within the company. Sometimes you need referrals. If you show a good credit history, a good work history, you show a good reputation, people will vouch for you. Because if you pay attention to pretty much anything you do in life, whether it's entertainment, whether it's working for a corporation, networking is the biggest thing. A lot of times you don't have to have all the skills, but if you know the right people, they will get you in the right door. Do you feel me? See, I bring it to you real, man. And I give you something you can actually use in your real life, not some fake ass street shit. Come on now. So you know what I mean? Some type of street mentality that don't even exist anymore. Stop snitching. Who? Everybody snitching. Even the OG's telling you that. So what are you saying? It just don't make no sense, man. And if you know you're not really about that life, don't get involved in that life. I know that money may look good. I know them females you see probably with them look good, fine. Oh man, I wish I can have that. But do you really understand what comes with that? And are you willing to sacrifice your life for that? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Not being the realest street light stop sign front porch. Do you feel me? That's what you need to ask yourself. And like I said, if anybody say that they love you, but they want you to do some criminal activity, especially when they really know that you're not about that life, is that really love? And even if you are about that life, why would somebody that loves you want you to be involved in that life to that degree? See, it's you got to really understand your position in life. And sometimes you have to make those critical decisions where you have to disassociate yourself with certain individuals, not because you don't like them, not because you don't have feelings or you don't care for them, but just because you don't want to put yourself in the same predicament that they're in, or they have you linked to something, Rico, have you linked to something where you truly didn't have no involvement, but because you're affiliated, now you looking at the same time. Do you feel me? I'm not here to bring the fluff, man. That's another video I done made, man. Hey, man, I just keep bringing it to y'all, man. One day somebody gonna feel me. But all seriousness, you need to be real with yourself. Whoever you are, I don't care where you from. I don't care about none of that. What I care about is hopefully somebody or most people really look at their situation and try to make the most conscious decision before you decide to do something criminal activity wise. Because I would say most of the time it's never worth it. It's not worth you losing your life, going to jail for a significant amount of time just to represent something that doesn't even represent you. Because, like I said, yeah, that, you know, some individuals will help you for a little while. But if you're looking at 20, 30 years, how much support will you get then? How much support will your family receive then? And if you're not living no more outside of the funeral, even if they help with that, what kind of support will your family get then when you gave them your whole life? You allowed your life to be in their hands and the individuals that say that they love you. You no longer here, but you still have responsibilities that you were responsible for. Will they take care of that for you? See, that's why I say the streets is a myth, and how gang are you? Are you willing to risk it all and get nothing in return? Or are you a dummy doing dummy missions? But the more I think about it, I guess it's just that some people is just not meant to make it, right? I mean, that's what it seemed to be. So maybe you just that individual that's just you willing to risk it all and don't care about your family or your loved ones. Because here in America, I only can tell you about America. I love this country. You can say whatever you want, but I'll tell you this. You do have opportunity here. And you may not like a lot of the choices, but at least you live to make a better tomorrow for you and yours. At least you have the time to build yourself up to what you truly want to be if you're willing to work, you're willing to stay dedicated, you're willing to be disciplined enough to not get involved with any gang, mob ties, YSL, claiming any street corner stop sign front porch. But the choice is yours. So hopefully with this video I was able to enlighten and offer some type of motivation. I am Sean B. Stola. Until next time. Peace.